So, we are just outside of Brisbane, Australia at Sure Dental, the practice of Dr. Ralph Kelsey, who is this month's Crown Council Practice of the Month. And here's the welcome sign to Dr. Kelsey's office. We're going to go inside and see how they do it in Australia. Here we go. All right, so we're in the reception area, and one of the first things you see is what you've done to the frosted glass in your reception area, which is very cool. So how did you choose the words on your glass?
The company that we used to help design the practice hit me with about 250 questions to draw out what feelings I had about the kind of practice that we wanted to develop.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of keywords and they asked me to build on that, and from that we finally selected the panel, so it was an appropriate number with the message that we wanted patients to see.
Very cool. Lots of great reinforcement when you first walk in the door. All right, so from here, then every new patient goes into the consult room, right?
The important thing is that we expect that new patient to arrive. So the dental nurses have to be very aware of the appointment book, so we have our huddle every morning so we know what time to expect a new patient, and our existing patients of course, and all are greeted as they arrive at the front door. So they're expected, they're greeted. And
can I insert here? I want to show everybody how they're greeted, because in your admin office you have a monitor over here where you're watching the hallway for when they walk up the stairs. Very cool.
Hopefully no surprises.
Hopefully no surprises. So then they come into the consult room.
That's right.
So tell us about the psychology here.
Okay. So we wanted a room that was not sparse. We wanted to look professional, so it's not cluttered with too much information. The most important part to have in here, of course, is the Crown Council references.
There you go.
So the dental nurses, I want them to have their one-on-one relationship with the new patients. So that nurse who's responsible for the patient will be the one who meets and greets the patient, invites them into the consultation room. And it's here that all the information is documented. They have a one-on-one conversation about the patient's wish list and any concerns they have at the moment, concerns they've had, where they've been, why they've come to our practice. And then all that information is put onto the patient file immediately. And then a little signal is sent to me that the interview is complete, so then I can open up the file, I'll have a look at what discussion's been had while the patient is being escorted down to the treatment room. I've got the brief then, so I've got a little bit of a heads up on what's going on, and then I'll go in and introduce myself and sit eye to eye, knee to knee with the patient, run through the information gathering that's already occurred, build on that, and then answer the questions that they've come in with.
So what's neat about this is, so your dental assistant, your nurse, greets them at the door.
Correct. And
they're with them the entire time.
Correct. So that one-on-one relationship continues through treatment, through the receiving, through the reappointing, and then hopefully when the patient returns to continue treatment. So they're familiar with that patient. And
in case anybody missed it, there is no front desk in this office.
Correct.
They're greeted, you work with them, and the nurse stays with them the whole time. Excellent.
It's a difficult thing. It's not every practice, I imagine, it can have a no front desk situation, but for me it came from the heart, because I've experienced situations where I've seen patients standing in a queue, they're still numb from their treatment, they may be feeling unwell, they might want to ask questions, it can be a bit awkward or embarrassing, they don't want to do that, so when they finally get to that reception desk, the receptionist, then sometimes I've heard their treatment being voiced, and other patients waiting in that area can hear the conversation. So I wanted to have something that was truly personal, and hence I wanted our mature team to meet and greet the patients, escort them directly into the treatment rooms if they weren't invited to wait for a couple of minutes with the papers and a cup of coffee. And I wanted everything to be managed privately, whether it's in this consultation room or whether it's at the little desks we have in each of the treatment rooms.
Excellent. So we are in one of the treatment rooms here with Dr. Kelsey. There's Dr. Ralph. And so this is kind of fun. Ralph, tell us about the photo on the wall.
Well, that's a photo of the Namib Desert in Namibia, where my daughter and her husband visited. So it's the highest sand dune in Namibia that they climbed up. And this is the country, I believe, that Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt visited.
There you go.
Must be some history to it that they enjoy.
That's great. So you, in here, you do everything chairside. You've got your credit card machine, you've got your computers, you've got the monitor over the patient's chair. So once they come in here, after they've had their initial interview in the consult room, everything takes place here, right?
That's correct.
So tell us when you planned all this and moved in here, now it's been 6 years ago?
6.5
So tell us
years.
the thinking behind what you did here.
Okay, so my intention was it's all about the patient. So it's about the patient service and the patient care, because they don't really understand the quality that we talk about in the mouth. For them, quality is the way they've been cared for, the way that we are listening to them and answering their concerns. So I have engaged or employed mature dental nurses because I want them to have a one-on-one relationship with their patient, and I want it to be personal and I want it to be confidential. So when we come into our room, everything is managed in here. I've created these little consultation desks, so at the end of their treatment, they are escorted to the side of the desk, and all their receipting, their reappointing, any further treatment plans are arranged, and it's all done privately so that there's no one else who's listening to their personal affairs. We make sure that the patient is comfortable before they leave, so they don't have to go and stand at a reception desk where they may be feeling unwell or feeling awkward or wanting to ask questions that could be a bit embarrassing. So everything is managed here, and then the patient is escorted out of the practice.
Great, fantastic. All right, so tell me how you guys interact in the office here then.
Okay, so we've got digital radiography, so when we record the images for the patient, images are saved, I can view them, and then we can bring them up because we've got a dual monitor card in the PC. So these images are dragged up onto the overhead screen. So with a laser pointer I can indicate any concerns or otherwise for the patient, so there's education there. We've also got intraoral cameras in every room, so Jan, if you just lift up that camera, thank you. So we can just change the program so that immediately an image is up on the overhead monitor for their education, but it's also on the dental nurse's PC, so she can then nominate what the image is about and then store that immediately onto the patient file. We've also got a little software program so that if there is any concern or if they need some help from another team member, we can easily just communicate with a quick message around the office and you can select whichever room you want that message to go to. So for example, if we are going to need the consultation room where the new patient would have been interviewed, then we can just request that that room be available, so as soon as we've finished treatment, the patient can be escorted to the consultation room instead of the little desk here.
Excellent. All right, we're going to go into your team meeting room in here with all your cool stuff on the wall. So you've got a video monitor, you got a TV on the wall where you watch your skill of the week and the team meetings, right?
So this room is our party room, but it also becomes our team training room.
Gotcha.
So the table can be extended so that the whole team and visiting specialists can come here.
Yeah.
So we try and invite a specialist once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And they're happy to do that, to just come and have a one-on-one with our practice. So we're quite honoured for that to happen.
Very cool.
So then with our PC here or our laptop, we're able to put our programs on there, Crown Council in particular, and that then goes up onto the large monitor there so the whole team can be part of it.
Very good. Now, each team member has their own locker over here, is that right?
Correct.
Very cool.
So we're limited to about 9 team members.
Yeah, and you have 9 right now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We do.
Don't forget his whiteboard.
Got to get some...
This is my wife's locker here.
She gets the big one. Gotcha. You got your whiteboard over here. Very cool.
Oh, in the oven.
Yes. Now you got a full kitchen in here. So what do you do with the kitchen?
Okay, so on a once or twice a week, my wife will come in here and just bake for the whole team, and also for patients who then get the aroma of the muffins or the
I love
that's
it.
cooking.
That's great.
So they can wander out with a piece of whatever they like, except my staff.
That's great. All right, so Dr. Kelsey, this is where you do most of your hygiene visits, and this is Di working hard away, doing hygiene. So Di, what do you like best about your hygiene room here? You got another beautiful picture of the African outback here, right?
Correct. That's the name of the desert again. I don't sound like Di, do I? But that's just a different image of the same sand dune that was in the other operatory.
Very good. Excellent. So when you set up, how did you set up your hygiene room any different than your treatment room?
This one's dedicated to hygiene. It only predominantly has a hygiene equipment. We also have the airflow machines. We have everything that we need in here, so we don't need to leave the room to go and get anything. Everything is here that we need, including products as well. So
when a patient comes for their hygiene visit, who greets them?
Our clinical coordinator greets them at the front door, and then I go and greet them from the patient lounge.
And then everything is done here, right? You appoint them here. They don't ever once they get up, they're done, right? Once they leave your room, they are finished.
Here, they're treated, looked after, and then exited.
So, Di, you've been a hygienist how long?
10 years.
10 years. And you've been here how long?
7 years.
7 years. What do you like about this setup and working at Sure Dental that's different than what you've done in the past?
Where do I start? Where do I start? It just works. There is nothing else to say, but it just works. We work as a team. We work efficiently. We work consistently. It just is a happy family to be a part of. It's not a job. It's not a job for me. It's part of my family.
That's great. Thank you. A dynamic duo here, doctor and hygienist. So, Ralph, this probably goes without saying, but I think it's great reinforcement. Tell us how you feel about your hygiene part of your practice.
Okay, well that's a simple one to answer because I wouldn't have a practice without a hygiene team, because I believe that it's the hygiene team that keeps your practice alive. It's the heartbeat of your practice, it's the lifeblood. So dentists can perform their treatment, but once you've completed your treatment, what happens to the patient? So you've got to have them return into a recall program with your hygienist. So even if they have no other treatment, at least they're still alive in your practice, seeing your hygienist every 6, 9 or 12 months. So you have excellent hygienists, and I have 3 wonderful ones here. And they're the ones who keep our practice moving. So I will come in and do our recall examinations, and maybe there's treatment required, maybe not, but at least that patient is still part of your practice. So that's the practice that's still living.
So what do you say to the patient to help reinforce that?
Okay, so if the patient doesn't require any operative treatment, with the intraoral camera, I'll educate them about the build-up of calculus that we all get, to explain in simple terms what that means to them biologically and health-wise, general health-wise and dental health. And so I encourage the patient to return to see the hygienist on a regular basis, whatever that may be, and the importance of doing that for their benefit. So I'll explain to them that perhaps the most important person in their dental life is going to be the hygienist, which is a wonderful thing if that's all that's required, is just to maintain the health of their soft tissues.
Besides, she's a lot better looking than you are. People like seeing her a lot more than you, I bet.
She's got a lot more here, that's right.
That's great.